Hello everyone, this is Jag. Well, in this video I'm going to cover 8 vegetables that you must grow in July. Now my friends in Southern Hemisphere such as Australia, South America and South Africa, check out the video about the vegetables that I grow in January, because that's what you'll be doing in July. And for everyone else in the Northern Hemisphere, let's get started without taking any more of your time. Now number 1 is cherry tomatoes. Now regular tomatoes don't do well in extreme heat, and also they don't do well when planted really late in summer. So if you plant regular tomatoes, especially heirloom tomatoes, in June, you won't get harvest until September or October, which might be too late and too close to your very first frost date. However, cherry tomatoes grow really fast and they start producing fruit, which is a cherry tomato, really soon as well. You can directly sow the seeds of cherry tomatoes in your garden in June, and the plants will start to grow just about a week after sowing. While heirloom tomatoes are very temperamental with heat, if the temperature goes above 95 degrees Fahrenheit, they tend to throw a fit, or if you water them too much, they also tend to throw a fit as well. Or if you fertilize too much, the tomato plants will grow really big and bushy, but they will not produce any tomatoes, and you can even experience tomato flower drop. However, that is not the case with cherry tomatoes. So plant cherry tomatoes worry-free and you will always get a really good harvest from cherry tomatoes. Number 2, Malabar spinach. Now regular spinach does not do very well in the heat of summer. However, Malabar spinach does really well in heat. Malabar spinach is not really related to spinach, not even like spinach. It kind of looks like spinach. Just to be honest, not everyone likes Malabar spinach. Now, the people that like spinach are very small in number, and the people that like Malabar spinach are even smaller in number as well. However, I do encourage you to grow Malabar spinach because it does really well in the summer heat and you get a really good harvest as well. Number 3, summer squash. Now zucchini grows really fast. If you plant it in spring, you might have noticed you'll start seeing the flowers of zucchini just a month after planting. However, if you plant it in summer, zucchini loves the heat and it will grow even faster in summer. You can start harvesting zucchini just 2 months after planting. Plant zucchini seeds 1 inch deep. The plant spacing should be 2 to 3 feet apart and row spacing 3 to 4 feet apart. Zucchini plants tend to grow really big, so if you plant them closer, be sure to prune your zucchini plants. Fun fact, zucchini and other squash flowers are also edible. So if your plants are producing too much zucchini, also try the zucchini flowers this summer. Number 4, winter squash. You can grow butternut squash, spaghetti squash, red curry squash, and many other types of winter squash as well. Now I taste tested 10 types of squash, so check that out if you're interested. I'll leave a link to the video in the description. Now winter squash is a really good contender to start sowing and growing in June, especially if you're in zone 7 and below, because your first frost date is either in October or first week of November, and you want to get the harvest right before the first frost. However, if you're in zone 8 or 9, you can still sow winter squash in your garden for early harvest, and you can also sow winter squash in July for later harvest as well. Now I like to keep my videos really short and concise, and I pack my videos with a lot of useful information without taking any more of your time. So if you're liking the content so far, consider subscribing, and to support the content, please do hit the like button. Number 5, pumpkins. Now pumpkins are also really much like winter squash as well. If you're in zone 7 and below, plant them in June for sure. If you're in zone 8 and 9, you can sow the seeds of pumpkins in June or in July. And you can start harvesting pumpkins in October and November. Now you can grow a variety of pumpkins as well, such as sugar pie pumpkins, which is on a sweeter side and it's really good to make pumpkin pie. You can also grow Long Island cheese pumpkin, which is a little bit less sweeter than the sugar pie pumpkin, but it's full of flavor. You can also grow yard ale pumpkin, which has an earthy taste and makes really good soups. Or you can grow Cinderella pumpkin, which has a finer tone and a balance between sweetness and earthy flavor, and it's good for making pies and soups. The seed depth should be ½ inch deep. Plant spacing should be 3 to 4 feet apart and row spacing 4 to 6 feet apart. Now these pumpkin vines can grow really big, so they need ample space to grow and create really good pumpkins. I also have a separate video on the taste test of different kinds of pumpkins as well, so check that out if you're interested. Now winter squashes and pumpkins, you have to let them cure on the vine. They have to get hardened before you harvest them. That way they'll have a really long shelf life. If you keep winter squashes and pumpkins in a cool, dark and dry place such as your basement or your pantry, they can last up to 6 months and even up to 9 months if properly stored. Now pumpkins also take about 4 months from seed to harvest, so make sure you plant the seeds of pumpkins in your garden at least 4 months before your first frost. Number 6, carrots. Now carrots are very easy to grow if you know how to properly grow carrots. I go with a shovel and then I turn my soil. That way the bottom soil is on the top, suppresses the weeds, and also makes the soil loose. After loosening up my soil, I make the soil flat and then I water the soil completely. I drench the soil so there's a lot of moisture in the soil. And then I go with my hand shovel or a trowel and I make trenches about 1 foot apart. Drop the seeds in trenches and I use 2 to 3 inches of seed spacing. The best way to start carrot seeds and germinate carrot seeds is to cover the seeds right after planting. Now covering the carrot seeds with a piece of cardboard locks in moisture and humidity, and that's what they need to start to germinate. It takes about 7 to 10 days for the carrot seeds to germinate. And you can lift the cardboard just a little bit to see if the carrot seeds are germinating. As soon as the carrot seeds start to germinate, you can lift the cardboard completely and let them grow. I have a separate video on everything you need to know on how to plant and grow carrots, so check that out if you're interested. One thing about growing carrots is that you must have loose soil to grow strong and straight carrots. Otherwise, your carrots will grow crooked. So you must grow your carrots on berms or raised beds. Number 7, beets. Now beets are also very easy to grow. Both carrots and beets take about 3 months from seeding to harvest. I don't recommend planting radish and turnips in July because it's really warm in July, and radish and turnips usually take about 2 months from seed to harvest and usually too hot for them and they start to bolt. So you have to wait until August or September to start growing your radish and turnips. Number 8, green beans. Now green beans are super easy to grow and they're perfect contender to start growing in July. Now if you plant green beans in spring, you might see that they're growing really fast. However, if you plant them in July, they will grow even faster. They'll germinate in just 3 days and they'll start producing green bean in just about 1.5 to 2 months after planting. Plant green bean seeds 1 inch deep. Plant spacing should be 3 inches apart and row spacing 2 feet apart. You can grow a winding variety of green beans, or for ease of growth, you can try bush beans such as contender beans. I really hope you enjoyed this video and I hope you can grow all of these vegetables in July, and I'll see you in another video.